I didn't scream, I didn't confront her, I didn't smash anything or demand answers. I just sat there, staring at the screen, realizing that my entire marriage had already ended, and she didn't even know it yet. And what I did next didn't just destroy her affair, it burned his entire life to the ground. Hi, my name is Henry, and I'm 39 years old. This was the early 2000s. No smartphones, no tracking apps, no social media breadcrumbs. Just instincts. And mine had started screaming. My wife and I had 2 kids, 4 and 6 years old. Still little, still honest, still unaware of how dangerous honesty can be to adults who are lying. They started casually mentioning how often they stayed with their grandparents during the day. At first, it sounded normal. Grandma made pancakes. Grandpa let us watch cartoons. But then it kept happening, 2 days a week, then 3. Her parents live 90 minutes away. That's not a quick drop-off. That's a commitment. And it just didn't add up. When I asked her about it, she smiled too fast, answered too quickly, dismissed it like I was being paranoid. She wasn't a good liar. She never had been. So I stopped asking questions, and I started watching numbers. Every week, I wrote down the mileage on her car, quietly, obsessively. And sure enough, 400 extra miles every single week. That's when the pit in my stomach stopped being fear and turned into certainty. Something was happening, and I was going to find it. One afternoon, I sat down at our shared computer, and there it was, a yellow sticky note, her AOL password, just sitting there, careless, confident. The universe doesn't hand you moments like that often. I logged in, and within minutes, my hands went cold. Email after email between her and her college best friend, laughing, bragging, talking about how she was regularly sleeping with one of her ex-boyfriends from high school, joking about sneaking around, mocking his wife, calling her fat for gaining weight after having kids. I remember reading that line twice. My chest tightened. Not just betrayal, cruelty. I printed every email, folded them neatly, and hid them where she'd never look. I didn't confront her. Because rage is loud, and loud people make mistakes. Instead, I made a call. A friend of mine was a cop. He didn't hesitate. "Call Ron," he said. "He's a PI now, and he's good." Ron was more than good. Ron was surgical. Ron followed her. Every movement, every excuse. She'd drop the kids at her parents' house, drive to meet the guy for lunch, then disappear with him into a rundown motel for hours. Photos, dates, times. Afterwards, she'd pick up the kids, come home, kiss me on the cheek like nothing happened. Seeing it documented like that didn't make it hurt less. It made it final. That night, I called a divorce lawyer. Because I'd grown up watching infidelity destroy families, I wasn't letting it destroy mine.
But I wasn't done. I asked Ron one more thing. Tell me everything about him. And oh, did Ron deliver. His name was Bob. Married. 3 kids. Vice president of sales at his father-in-law's company. Living in a house his wife's parents owned. In other words, everything he had, his job, his home, his status, was built on trust. Trust he didn't deserve.
I had the divorce papers drawn up, and then I made one final request. The same day my wife was served at work, Ron paid a visit to Bob's wife. He didn't accuse. He didn't editorialize. He just laid the evidence on the table. Photos, reports, truth. What she did next, that was her choice. And she chose war. She emptied their joint accounts, took the kids, left. When her father found out what Bob had done, he fired him, then evicted him. The divorce turned nuclear, court battles, police reports. At one point, Bob showed up at the house and started screaming. Her brother stepped in. Bob left with a broken nose. Restraining orders followed, then charges, then jail time. I tried looking him up years later. Nothing. Gone. Vanished. His ex-wife? She took over her father's company after he retired. She thrived.
I didn't win by yelling. I didn't win by revenge fantasies. I won by letting the truth do what it always does: destroy lies. My ex and I raised our kids peacefully. Now that they're adults, I don't speak to her. I don't hate her. I just don't care. And sometimes, that's the most complete victory of all.